What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Seton Hill Studios. Hope you're having an amazing day out there so far. So about 2 weeks ago, we released a video of Prince and Maceo Parker doing Pass the Peas. And you all, y'all were very loud and clear that I should have known who Maceo Parker was before the video. Honestly, this is not a genre of music I've really spent a lot of time with. So I legitimately had no idea who Maceo Parker was before the video. However, he was super impressive in that video, and you guys were adamant that I had to listen to some of his music and check him out, that I was really missing out. So here we are. Today we're checking out a live from Holland version of a song called Make It Funky. I'm excited to get in and check it out. Again, this is not my wheelhouse at all, but I'm super interested to hear because he seemed like an insanely talented musician, and I'm sure he surrounded himself with an amazing band for this one as well. But before we get into it, a few ways you guys can continue to support the channel. Right down below, you can hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's an easy and free way to show some love. You can also head on over to Patreon and become a member there. If that doesn't work for you, right here on YouTube, you can become a channel member. Both of those are going to get you access to priority requests as well as other perks and features. And then as always, with a one-time donation through Buy Me a Coffee, you can get a guaranteed request either Steven or I'll check out right here on the channel. All right, y'all, let's get into it. All right, folks, here we go. Maceo Parker, Make It Funky. Again, this is said it was live from Holland. I'm excited to get in and check it out. Y'all were so outspoken that I needed to do it, so here we are, and I'm sure it's going to be epic. So let's get going.
Get funky, make it funky, make it what good to make it funky, huh. Make it funky, make it funky, down in love, make it funky, ha, oh, make it funky, down in, ha, make it funky, good go, make it funky. We'd like to introduce to ya. Make it funky, make it funky. We'd like to introduce to ya. Our trombone player for this afternoon, give it up. Mr. Troy Andrews, better known as Trombone Shorty. Good go.
So I'm just going to go ahead and out myself here because I feel like I'm going to get a lot of comments on this one. I have no idea who Trombone Shorty is, but from the applause and the fact that he's playing with Maceo Parker, I'm just going to go ahead and assume everybody's going to be like, how could you not know who he is? Well, I don't. I'm sure he's going to be phenomenal, though, so I'm excited to hear him play. Already, I mean, shoot, they made it funky from the jump. That drummer's groove and then what the bass players got going on is sick. I love that super tight high tuned snare that he's got. It just snaps. It's so good. And man, they're tight already. I know this is going to be good. Let's keep it going.
Good go. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? Down in what? Lottie, lottie, good go. Ha. Somebody, somebody. Going on. Make it funky. Make it funky. Make it funky. Say what? Say what? Make it funky. Baby, you let me get it. Down, down, ha. Make it funky.
The drummer's got a quick foot.
Make it funky. Down, down, ha. Make it funky. Down, make it funky. Down, down, make it funky. Down, down, you do it. Make it funky. We got 3 bridges. Take out the bridges. We got 3 of them. Take this out.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. So again, I said it in the previous video, like I am not a brass player at all. Something that I thought maybe as a teenager, like I should learn how to play the saxophone because I just thought it was such a cool sounding instrument. And I'd only ever really heard it in like a band and orchestra context. I'd never really kind of dived into like any of this kind of like funk music or anything, jazz, anything like that. And but I never really went for it, and probably better that I didn't, because like when you hear dudes like this play, it's like, oh my gosh, I could never sound like that. But man, the tone of his instrument is so good, and it looks like he's just playing it into like an SM58 that's just on a stand, which is wild that it sounds that good. It's so punchy, and it's not like overly bright and aggressive. It like perfectly fits in, and it's like really pleasing to your ears. I love the part where they were playing together at the beginning, those real accented staccato parts where they had to be tight, and they were locked in. And then he took that sax solo, man. It's like he's so fluid, man, and his phrasing so good. You know, as a guitar player, a lot of times some of the stuff that we go for, like in tone and sustain and feel, is to almost try to mimic some saxophone stuff. And that stuff right there, man, that was insane. He's really good, and the band that's with him is wildly good too. I'm listening, like I'm focused on what he's doing with the sax and stuff, but I'm hearing all of these just real rhythmic, super cool guitar lines in the background, man. And he's got a killer band. They're on point, man. This is great. They definitely made it funky, man. There's no question about that.
Make it funky now. What? Make it funky now. Ha! Make it funky now. What? Make it funky. What we gonna do? Make it funky. What you gonna do? Make it funky. Say what? Say what? Make it funky. What you gonna do? Go. Make it funky. Yeah. Make it funky. What we gonna do tonight? Make it funky. What you gonna do tonight? Make it funky. Lordy, Lordy, Lord. Make it funky. Lord, Lord. Make it funky. Got another bridge coming up. Make it funky. Bridge number 2. Make it funky. Just like one. Check it out. Bridge.
Hey, before we get into what sounds like he's about to rip another solo here, I think it's a trombone player. I don't know the difference, honestly. I'll have to wait till it pans over to the camera. But man, that section right there where they break it down and the drums are really just hitting a couple accents and really accentuating the downbeat. But the guitar player and the organ player, man, just laying the bed underneath so that all of those real staccato, real tight, sharp hits of the three-piece brass section there. Oh, it's so good. The rhythms, it's not even like they're counter rhythms. It's like the guitar is completely doing its own thing, keeping it moving. You know, he's got some staccato chords in there, but he's also doing a whole bunch of like super cool sliding stuff around. And then the horn section is just punching those super tight accented things together, man. It's so good because the rest of the band is just laid a cool foundation underneath. But then when the horns hit, man, it's just like boom. It's, oh man. Whew. And that's not, you know, what they're doing is not, it's not even like normal accent. It's not like they're just accenting like, oh, it's a 1 and a 3. Like, no, they're accenting like 16th notes and all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, I'm going to accent this here. It's almost like they were like, well, where would people not normally accent? Let's do that instead. But it's super good, man. They are, Oh my gosh, this band is super tight, super tight. Oh my gosh. Hey, I didn't realize that the trombone could be such an aggressive sounding instrument. I guess I just never. I mean, it's not like I'm sitting around listening to trombone music or anything, but like it was. I mean, man, it almost sound almost like an overdriven like guitar or something, or like a real dirty organ kind of sound. Like, man, that was super cool. He was also doing like a bunch of stuff. Like, I guess I never really thought about it. I guess you can really do vibrato on, or the equivalent of vibrato, like on just about any instrument. But like, it was so wide. Like he was doing some wide vibrato stuff and pitch bending stuff with the trombone that I didn't even. Again, not my thing. I don't really know what's possible. But that sounded awesome. I love the stuff that he was doing where he would do like those long tones and then he would do almost like some stutter stepping, like real staccato sharp stuff there, and then get back into the real wide open tones and more fluid lines. That solo was killer, man. He's fantastic. I'm gonna roll it back just a little bit here and catch the end of that. And we'll ride it out to the end. Woo. These boys are tough, man. Wow. Man. Shooey. Hey, that was awesome, man. That band was so tight, and everybody looked like they was just having a great time. The drummer was killer. He was the only one that kind of looked. I mean, he was locked in, but he was the only one. He was just chewing some gum. He was really just relaxed and chilling. Everybody else was like, ear to ear, grinning, but man, there's something about when people clearly love what they're doing and love music that just makes it that much more engaging. And Maceo Parker's super engaging, man. And the coolest part about it is that he's obviously a killer musician, right? Excellent sax player, obviously a good writer, and just overall player and a musician. Like I wouldn't even just classify him as a sax player. Like he's a musician, and there is a difference. Like he's got the music in him for sure. He's got the funk in him for sure. But the way that he was so excited for dude playing the trombone when he took his solo, it wasn't a competition, it wasn't nothing. He was like, go for it, and he was rooting him on, just smiling, just loving the music, just like I was. And you don't always see that, man. Some people see music kind of as a competition, and I hate it when it's like that. Like, there's always going to be somebody out there better, no matter how good you think you are. So the smart thing to do is just lock arms with good people and make good music. And that's what these guys are doing. And it clearly shows through. This was fantastic. All right, y'all. That was so much fun. The title, Make It Funky, and they wasted no time. They jumped straight into it, and it was funky from start to finish. There was so much musically going on that, I mean, we could spend, shoot, this video be 10 hours long if I went through and was just, breaking down everything that even just what I know is going on. And there was so much that this is not my genre that I'm super familiar with. There's a ton of things going on that I didn't even really understand, with the horn section specifically, but shoot, you ain't got to understand everything to know it's good and enjoy it. And man, the sax solo that Maceo Parker took was killer. The trombone solo from Trombone Shorty. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know a trombone could do all that, which was, it's eye-opening, and, you're learning as you go. You can't know everything. That's how I didn't know who Maceo Parker was, but you got to learn, you got to grow, you got to branch out and expand your knowledge. And man, these dudes blew me away. I don't know if this is the band that he normally plays with. I checked the description ahead of time for the video. It didn't credit all the musicians, but man, they were, oh boy. They were absolutely just a monster unit of a band, so tight. And it wasn't like technical, like, oh, we're right on the grid, hitting everything. Like, it was just, they were just tight as a band, which is arguably more important than being able to stay, robotically on the grid and on the click, because man, the human element of the music really shined through this. And they were all technically talented as well, so I'm not trying to take away from that at all. But man, they kept it funky. They made it funky. They kept it funky. This one was super fun. I want to check out some more stuff. The other suggestion, I think, was an album called Life on Planet Groove. So if y'all got some more suggestions of stuff to check out from there or that album, just let me know. I'd love to hear some more of this. I'm very new to this genre. It's not my thing, but I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a ton of fun, and I'm loving listening to it. All right, y'all, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so every time we drop new content, you guys can be made aware. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.